this week of what I want you to practice. And I don't even want you to practice it. I want you to take the whole week to develop. Why are you living the life that you're living? Like, have you stopped to actually think, why do I work at this place? Like, what am I going to get from this? Am I just here just to make a buck so I can pay my bills? Like, yeah, it can't just be that. It has to be something else. Is that you're here working at this specific place because it provides the best benefits for your family, and like, why does it, like, my big tip to you for this week, number 2, is to actually connect with your why, right? Take that time to really get the chance to build it up. And I promise you, your motivation for anything in life will be elevated from 100 to 1,000%. All right. Like, your overall satisfaction of your personal life and your professional life of why you're doing what you're doing will completely change everything. All right. And so what I want to give you today is some really good actionable steps that you can utilize, so that way, by the end of this piece, by the end of this topic, you understand exactly what your why is, why it's your why, how to utilize and implement it, so that way you become unstoppable, right? Like, the reason why you have your why and understand it, the power that's in your why is to become unstoppable. So what is a why? What is a why, right? Like, when it comes to like personal, professional growth, right? Why are you doing what you are doing? What fulfillment does it actually give you? There is a gentleman, Simon Sinek. I cannot even pronounce his name correctly. Simon Sinek says that empathy is a crucial component of, no, that's what let me get it right. Empathy is a crucial component of his philosophy of why. And like, he stresses so much why it is extremely important to actually connect with it, right? And a huge piece that a lot of people honestly miss is, instead of starting something with a why, they start something and then try and make their why match whatever activity it is that they're doing. And so let's just say that, I'm working in the industry. I'm working in the healthcare industry. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? I need to figure out my motivation. You know what a lot of times people are going to do? They're going to figure out their why based on whatever they're already doing. But is that truly like what you want? And so it's so important to start every action, to start everything that you do, every journey that you take with your why already intact. And that's why it's so important to understand like the difference between like what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. Like, it's extremely important. What do you do? I do this. Well, how do you do that? I do that with this, by doing this. Well, why do you do it? Yeah. What do you do? Oh, I'm a surgeon. Nice. How do you do that? Well, I went to school, I went to college. So that way, I went to school, I went to college, and now I am like a neurosurgeon who works on people's brains every day. Oh, that's really cool. Why you do that? My mom wanted me to, and so I did it. How much fulfillment did you get from that? Well, my mom supports me. That's awesome. Is that something that you specifically want to do? Yeah, it is. Why? Did I save people's lives? Okay. Why is it so important to you to save people's lives though? Like, what? There's tons of different things that you can do in life. And why do you want to save people's lives? Well, back whenever my mother was younger, there wasn't really the technology that we have nowadays with surgery. And one of her best friends passed away because of something that could have been easily handled with the kind of surgery we have today. And so it's like, I do what I do to, I want to make my mom happy, but most importantly, I do it so that way, her friend lives on. And because there's somebody else that's going to be in a situation where surgery could save that person's life. And I say, wow, that's incredible that this is why you do this. Right? Now, let's just say he did not realize, this doctor, this neurosurgeon didn't realize that was his why until that moment that I questioned it. Right? And now he can start to go to work every single day understanding it. And even if he just now realized it, his entire life can be changed. Why? Because imagine if he started off his time in school with that, where he knows he's going to want to give up. Right? He's about to endure 10 to 12 potential years of schooling where he's going to want to quit, where he's going to give up, where he's going to want to go to a party, where he's going to want to go do things that he shouldn't do. Right? Or maybe things just get ultimately out of hand where maybe his family member passes away and he can't actually continue going to school. Remember that journey? All these things are going to happen in his journey, all these kind of obstacles. If he understands why he's doing what he's doing, if he understood in the beginning that the reason I'm doing this is because there is some little girl out there who is going to have to watch her best friend pass away, and I know that if I do this, I can save her from dealing with that kind of pain, and I can help that family. Understanding that not a single obstacle is going to come in that future doctor's way. But imagine if he thinks his motivation is, well, mom wants me to do it, so I'm going to do it. Yeah. At some point, when things get so difficult, you can talk your mom into helping you into being supportive about something else, or you could just say, I don't need her support. I'm going to do anything else. And so apply that to you. Like, figure out what you do, how you do it. That's easy. But why are you doing it? And then continue to ask yourself why, right? Understanding exactly what your why is going to allow you to increase your clarity in life, where you're going. A lot of times, either our vision is impaired or it's clouded, or we don't have one at all. It's impaired, it's broken, it's clouded. We know it's there, but we can't see it, or it's not there at all. We don't have one. And a lot of times it's because you haven't developed your why. Your motivation is interrupted. Why? Because you haven't developed and figured out why. Like, why? What if you were motivated to go to the gym at the beginning of the year? That's cool. Your motivation will wear off. Why, in the first place, did you have to go to the gym? Oh, I want to go to the gym because I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? I want to look good. Well, why do you want to look good? Why is it so important for you to look good? How did you come up with the idea that going to the gym is going to help you look good for whatever reason? Ask yourself why over and over and over again. I love it. I love my mentor, business mentor. He tested that and he continued to press me. Why? And guess what I have to say? Well, I had to be extremely vulnerable with myself. Extremely vulnerable and extremely real and open. And in doing that, it allowed me to say, well, whether I have motivation or not, this is what matters, right? Why do I do what I do? Why do I have this channel, this forum, this podcast? Why? Because I know what it's like to not have leadership mentorship. Why do I do what I do? Because I know what it's like to have zero kind of financial information or education literacy at all. I know what it's like to be completely poor, broken, live out anywhere and not have opportunities. I'm going to make sure that there are other individuals out there who want to improve on their lives and make sure that they actually get the chance to. Because right now there's so many people taking away our chances. And for me, because my chances was taken away from me, or not even presented to me, I didn't have vision. I didn't know where I was going to go. And because of that, my entire mental health was completely suffered and pulled down, so much so to where there was no purpose in anything. And I was ready to move on to the next life. And I'm going to make sure that in any way, shape, or form, I bring that kind of information that I'm learning to someone else so that way it can potentially save a life. That is why I do what I do. And I can start everything with that. You know, I could have a YouTube video that gets 0 views. Guess what? It's not that I don't care about the performance or those results. What matters is my why I'm actually doing this. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the celebrityism, the fame. There we go. That's the word, right? I'm not doing it for the views, the likes. I'm going to save someone's life, and I know that I can. I'm going to provide opportunities for people. I'm going to provide mentorship. That is why I do what I do. And starting this from jump with my why is going to help me go much further. And at this moment right now, right? Because there are going to be hard times. There's always going to be hard. There's always going to be obstacles. Well, that's a really great chance for me to actually build on myself. Right. So how do we actually discover our why? How do we actually discover it? Right. And so one of the very first things that you should do is like actually figure out where your purpose is. How should I do that, Charmy? Here's the first piece. Reflect. I want you to actually reflect on some of the achievements that you've had in the past. Like actually write them down. Some of the things you've done, whether it's something small, right? Like being the best in your small team, or maybe it's a participation trophy. I mean, maybe it's a participation trophy, or hey, you were the most achieved. Like you got started and you're the rising star, right? Maybe it's something like that, or maybe it's something where you were first place in an academy, or you had the chance. Like maybe it's whatever. Write down all of these past achievements, big or small, and like afterwards, write like a little two sentence fulfillment statement. Like I felt fulfilled by this because. That's step one to determining your why, right? And the purpose. Step two, I want you to identify certain themes in what it is that you enjoy and what it is that drives you, right? So after you've written down that list and you have your fulfillment, figure out what similarities between those are there. What themes do you see? Consistently, I notice that no matter what it is that I do, when I start something fresh, new, whatever it is, I'm going to rise to the top. And I realized that because of that, now I'm able to start anything and have confidence because I know a little bit more about the fact that I'm going to push to the top of that. I'm going to endure and push to the top. Now I know there's going to be a lot of obstacles. There might be a lot of people, right, that are going to also be trying to do the same thing, right? But the third piece to helping you discover like the purpose and your why, consider like the legacy that you want to leave behind based on some of these themes, right? Like for me, I obviously know the legacy for me is, hey, that person extremely competitive, but he does it with the most like valuable thought processes or whatever, like in the world. And the legacy that I want to leave is, hey, I want to be like him. I want to start something, give it my all, let it build and grow regardless of whatever kind of obstacles come in my way. And at the end of life, like he actually accomplished so much when it comes to building value into this world, right? And if you can reflect on the past and what gave you fulfillment and look at the future on what you are going to do between now and then, you're going to start to discover much more about why you're doing what you're doing. At least your why. Why are you having this journey in life, right? Now, with that, you have to understand that there are going to be challenged. Like you're going to be challenged with actually having your whys, right? A lot of times people have all these different societal pressures against them to like hold them down, right? That's that environment piece that we talk about, where you can't necessarily change the weather, but you can't change the environment. A lot of times it's gonna be this overarching, overbearing fear of change when it comes to once you understand your why, you actually have to go out and get it. You actually have to go out and act upon it. Right? You have to make daily decisions based on your why, based on your mission, based on the vision that you see. Right? And then also, there's gonna be a lot of times where you don't have that support, especially with the why. If your why is strong enough, yeah, it might grab some people, but there's also gonna be a lot of people that might not be there to support you. Maybe the people are there, but maybe you don't have the financial backing just yet to make that change. Right, to start to develop, to start something new, so that way you can actually have that why. Right, and so understand that, like, doing a lot of soul searching, reading, building up good support systems everywhere you go, and staying true to yourself and like what it is that you want out of this life is going to help you dramatically with pushing past all these different challenges, pushing well past all these different obstacles that you're going to come across while enacting on that. Right? It's just like the doctor. Once again, with that doctor, if that doctor just says, "Oh, this is why I want to be a doctor, because I'm going to save someone's life, and most importantly, stop someone who's still living from having this pain of losing somebody. I'm going to be able to do that." You know what? Cool. And if he was naive to think that it was just going to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl because he understood his why, oh, he's already wrong. He's already setting himself up for failure. Right? And so having those realistic understandings of how life actually goes is very volatile, right? If you haven't seen that video, I'd encourage you to go watch that video, how your life is like the stock market, right? Learn how to shift your mindset so that way you can start to understand how some of these obstacles are going to turn into different opportunities for you to grow and build upon yourself. Right now, how do you go from applying like what you just determined about yourself into everyday life, right? And so for me, one thing that I do is I have a goal tracker where I write down my why I'm doing what I'm doing. And every decision and every goal, every daily habit that I write, I'm actually thinking about how I can implement that, right? Let's say that my why is because specifically I've been to a place that was so dark because everything was taken away from me, all the opportunities, all the chances, everything was taken away from me. And so I'm going to make sure that I give other people all those opportunities. Let's say in my day, let's say I have a meeting with an individual who's also felt the same way in life, but I don't even think about it, right? I'm going to make sure that when meeting with that person, I want to connect with them. I actually want to learn about who they are and like their paths and where they want to go, because maybe we can kind of relate. And if we can kind of relate on the fact of like, we've had opportunities taken away from us and we felt that, it allows me to connect with someone so much better. And like, that's one of the ways that I can implement that into my daily habits, right? Maybe I'm going to decide to read. Well, how can I fulfill my why in my daily reading? Well, I can pick books that are going to do like great for me to actually serve other people. How do I read, or what kind of books can I read that allows me to serve others? Right? Or I can just go read some random book about how can I just make more money. Or I could look for something that's going to help actually fulfill my why. Like, you actually want to think about planning your day and always have your why at the forefront of your mind, because it's going to start to really impact like your mental health, your relationships, even your career, because you know exactly why you're there. Right? You know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. You start to have this separate sense. It's like being a teacher. Why do you love being a teacher? You're so passionate about it. Why? Why do you love it? Why do you do it? Because of these reasons. And then guess what? Now, financial issues. And like, well, I understand that you don't make much money as a teacher. Well, I don't do it for the money. I do it to change the lives of these children. That's really great. Right? And so now you can start to have much more satisfaction. Now, I'm not saying that why is going to all of a sudden make you more money, but it could in the long run. Right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because I want to change these kids' lives. Well, why do you have a second job? So I can have enough money to change children's lives. I mean, I don't make much money as a teacher, but I can get a second job and overwork myself for the moment so I can do my passion, live my passion. And that's why I'm having a second job. And now, you know what? When you get exhausted and tired of it, you realize, wow, man, I'm working so much. All of these children, though, I have to change their lives. I'm not making enough money. Maybe I should, maybe I could, right? You start to push through all of this adversity. You start to push through all of the wanting to quit and giving up, right? And so I need you guys to understand that it is so important to understand the concept of like why you do what you do. Remember, ask yourself, ask the people around you, what do you do? How do you do it? And why do you do it? It's easy to answer the first two. But if it's easy for you to answer the third one, ask yourself again. Okay, well, why? Why? Why is that important to me? How did I quantify doing this? Like what made me think that this is going to be the way to help me to get me to wherever, right? Doing things like that, understanding the importance of it, helping yourself discover your why, realizing that there are going to be challenges and obstacles that are going to come along. But if you apply it in every single day life, even when you're faced with those setbacks, like that path is clear and you don't deviate from it. Don't deviate from your why.